Okay, today we are making this video on our theory of the plot for The Last Jedi, and then we'll see if, in little than over a month from now, if we're right. If we're right, that's really cool. If we're wrong, oh well, it's still going to be really exciting to see this movie. So I think this movie is going to start out with Supreme Leader Snoke. I don't think it's going to go directly back to Rey and and Luke right away. Snoke's going to be mad that the Star Destroyer planet, is that what it's called?
Star Killer Base.
Star Killer Base was destroyed. He's going to be mad at Kylo and mad at General Hux. He's going to be mad, and he's going to probably show his anger, and that's where it's going to begin, and he's going to say, go attack the Resistance, and then it's going to cut out. Okay, and then I think it goes to Rey and Luke. And then from there, Rey is going to try to convince Luke to help her, to train her, to say, the galaxy needs you, we need your help to fight the First Order. So that's what's going to happen there. And from there, I think Luke is going to, tell her, I don't want to. Basically, he's going to say, the Jedi are dead. I don't want anything to do with them. There's, just kind of like deal with it, walk away. What do you think is going to happen between Luke and Rey?
Bittersweet.
I think he's going to tell Rey, you know what? I'll help you a little bit, but this is not my fight anymore. I've already got... Imagine if you had already beat the Emperor from the past, and you have already done your duty. Like, there comes a point where you're like, you know what, this is not my fight anymore. And Rey's going to be a little bit heartbroken about that because she wants Luke to help her. She even says, I need someone to help me. And he's like, you know what, my time's over. I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. Okay? And from there, I think you're going to go back to the Resistance base on Dakar. And you're going to see Kylo come with his people. And they're going to fight Dakar, and they're going to start to bomb it. Okay? And then you're going to see, of course, the Resistance going to fight back. And Poe, this is where you see in the trailer where Poe says, we need to burn down the First Order. So that's going to happen then. Do you think anything else will happen in that part?
Probably Finn will wake up at some point right there.
Yeah. Now, do you think when Finn wakes up, he's going to fight with the Resistance right away, or do you think he'll leave with Rose?
I don't think he will meet Rose yet, but I think his first thought is going to be Rey. Where's Rey? I need to find Rey. I want to run away with Rey.
Because he loves Rey.
But then he'll realize, oh, Rey's doing her own thing right now. There's nothing I can do about that. I have to fight with the Resistance.
For some reason, I think that Finn and Rose, during this attack on Dakar, will actually escape. I don't know.
Similar to Hoth with...
Yes.
Han
Yes. And then where you see in the trailer that explosion on Poe's fighter, I think that will happen around this time. Okay. Then you're going to go back to the island that Luke is on, which is called
Ahch-To, I believe.
Ahch-To. Okay. On Ahch-To, you're going to see Luke and Rey, and this is where you're going to see the training that he's going to do with Rey. Now, it's going to be very minimal because he really doesn't want to participate.
Keep his distance.
Yes, he's keeping his distance, and he doesn't want to really be, like I said, this is not his battle. This is not his story. He's even said this is not a story about him. I've always felt that way when people have said Luke's going to the dark side or Luke's this, Luke's that. I've always felt that this is not a story about Luke whatsoever. He's going to have minimal part in it, kind of like Han Solo in the last film. I'm going to say that it's probably going to be about that much exposure. Okay, so you're going to see the Porgs. You're going to introduce the Porgs. The Porgs will probably attack Rey a little bit.
They're even described as Curious because they don't see people often, but I don't think they're going to be violent. Just curious and mischievous.
Curious and mischievous. So from there, it's probably you'll see Rey meditate, have some Force visions.
I think that after that, they'll go to the tree.
Yes, they'll go to the tree.
Learn about the Jedi Order.
You'll see the Journal of the Wills if they show that that's one of those books that's highlighted. They'll talk about that. I think Luke will kind of talk to Rey about what he's learned about the Force, and that will take place there. Bombs away. Well, I think that something is gonna some bomb will happen soon after this. Somewhere. There's gonna be another explosion. Where do you think it's going to be?
There's going to be a space battle.
Another space battle.
Similar to, maybe the one above Coruscant. I don't know. Just
do you think
battle.
This will happen where Luke and Rey are? Do you think they'll throw a bomb on the tree?
No. I think this is between the First Order and the Resistance.
Only the First Order and the Resistance? I'm just going to go off a limb. I think that Kylo's going to come to the island and he's going to bomb the tree. And that's going to start a battle. But that will not be the final battle, I don't think, whatsoever. Rey will get away on the Millennium Falcon. Luke, I think at this time, kind of stays. But I could be wrong. But I think he stays on the island. For now. Okay, Crate is the next scene. This is where they have you'll see the red powder.
That's where we see Leia all sad. That's where we see the little ice boxes. Or whatever those are called.
Yeah. So then you're going to go on Crate. And this is where, because of the battle before, on Dakar. They move. The Resistance moves. I believe that Crate is where the other, that woman, I can't remember her name with the colored hair.
Pink hair.
I think this is where she is. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. I think this is where she is, and Leia goes there for her help. This
is probably where Finn and Rose split away from.
Okay, that's where you
Maybe.
think they do?
I think they'll split away from here and then do their own mission while...
That could be. I think that if that's the case, Leia sends them to Canto Bright.
I think she sends them to go find DJ.
Yeah, for DJ's help. I think what happens is Leia talks to the other lady, and I'm sorry I don't know her name, and they say, we know DJ, he will help you, please go talk to him, and they send Rose and Finn to do so. And then when they get to Canto Bright, we've seen it explained as kind of like a gambling place. There's going to be some type of race with Finn and Rose.
I think they'll get there. You'll be introduced. It'll be like, crazy gambling mixed with the ocean.
Yes.
Elegant gambling city.
Yeah. So that's going to happen.
They'll get caught or something.
That will happen on Canto Bright.
Bite.
And then they get arrested for probably being somewhere they shouldn't be. And then you're going to see, this is where Finn will go undercover soon after they are arrested. And DJ is going to help them. And then you will see Finn and Phasma fight.
At some point.
And I think that Phasma will be killed by Finn. And I think Finn will get injured somewhat. I mean, how could you not? He's going to get injured somewhat with a battle between him and Phasma. So that's going to happen, but I do think Phasma will, that will be the end of her character after that fight. And you're going to see Finn's Jedi abilities come out even more, which will be pretty exciting. Okay, now you're going to go back to Kylo. And he's going to go talk to the Supreme Leader Snoke. Another possibility. I do think let's go back to when Kylo, I think, goes to the island. I think he could take Rey and then bring her back to Snoke. And this is when this would happen. So Snoke would have Rey. And this is where you see Snoke attacking Rey with his force and telling her to fulfill her destiny. You know, I do think that Snoke is somewhat of a force sucker, and he takes energy from the Jedis to sustain his life because he's pretty weak if he doesn't. And so he's taking Rey's force and he's attacking her. And for some reason, Kylo
Disagrees.
I think he wants Rey on his side. I think he wants Rey to join him so he can take over. And he's kind of sick of this Snoke character running the show because he wants to be like his grandfather. He wants to do what his grandfather has done. So, of course, what do you think he's going to do? He wants to do it himself like Vader wanted with his son. Okay, so I think that's what will happen there. Okay, so, yeah, he wants to be like his grandfather. Vader wanted to take over the galaxy with his son. Kylo wants to take over the galaxy with Rey. Okay, so we know that Kylo wants Rey on his side, and I think Kylo will attack Supreme Leader Snoke, and this is where you see him fighting those guards, the
Praetorian
guards. This is where you see him fighting those guards, and Rey as well. They'll both be fighting the guards. They don't get away quite yet. I think what happens is, at this point, when they're fighting, Snoke reveals some secret to Rey about who she is. I'm guessing that she will say, you know, I killed your parents. Or something will be revealed in something with the parents or something, or how. Well, what do you think?
I don't think Snoke will reveal anything. If anything's revealed about her parentage, it'll be through Luke or a Force vision.
Okay. What do you think happens? Do you think Snoke will be killed by Kylo?
No, not yet. I think that, Rey's gonna break it to Kylo and say, "You're being used. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're being used.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to get away from him. We need to stop him together or something." I don't think Snoke will reveal anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has anything to do with Rey's parentage. Other than he knows that she is a Force. That's all he wants.
Okay, now here's what I think happens next. And this is the part where it could be totally wrong, but I think Luke will come to save Kylo and Rey with Snoke. And I think at this time, Luke is kind of like Obi-Wan in this way, is where he will sacrifice himself to show that they can turn to the good. To show that Snoke is bad, I am good, you have potential, do not join Snoke, do not do any further damage to what you're doing. So, at this point, I think this is where Luke will be killed by Snoke. And it's going to be pretty intense. We've been told that this movie is going to be leaving people gasping for air. The only thing I could think is that Luke is killed. So Snoke will kill Luke. And then Rey and Kylo leave. They're able to escape. So where do you think Rey and Kylo would go next? To his mom. He's going to go see his mother.
Because there's footage in that behind-the-scenes little trailer where you see Rey with Finn on Crate, so obviously they return there at some point with her new outfit, so that's probably where they go. Yeah,
so they're going to go see her mother, and they're going to reunite together. You're going to see somewhat of a struggle with Kylo between the good and bad, but his mother's going to help pull him. This is a stretch, but I do think the very end is going to be very unexpected. I think Snoke is going to tap into Leia. And Snoke is going to force choke her somewhat, and she's going to be gasping for air. And her last words are going to be, "There's still good in him." I think there's going to be something to that effect, to where we're all, oh my gosh, what just happened? We lost Luke. What is happening to Leia? What do you think?
No.
No?
No, I don't think she'll die.
You don't think she'll die?
And if she does, maybe it's just in a normal way.
Well, yeah, she could be just dying.
Just be dying.
And her last words are, "There's still good in him." And to whom
No.
they're referring to,
Probably her son.
her son, I think, because he's still struggling with the good and the bad. And he wants to make sure that he's
Where do
making
you
a
think
decision.
the Kylo holding his hand out goes into?
I do think that's Rey. I know people think that's a misdirection. But
It's obviously not the same scene.
No, it's not. But I think it's a misdirection to make you think it's a misdirection.
Do you think that's the beginning, middle, or endish?
I think that's going to be kind of near the end. But yeah, I think they're trying to trick you to think that's a misdirection when it actually is real. Anyways, that's what we have for today. It's not much, but that's our theory. Let's see if it's real or not in a little over a month. Have a nice day.